Good afternoon, and hope you've all had a chance to finish your lunch. We really wanted to give William Thomas a big applause for this music. It's terrific. Thank you. Last September, I think it was, when I had the occasion to open for the fall semester, I kind of talked about kind of getting reacquainted with the Chesapeake College family here after about a decade of being away. And you guys have really been really supportive and helpful to me this year. You know, we had a lot happening here at Chesapeake. I guess we specialize in that, it seems. But it was really, really a great occasion for me to be able to come back to the college and reacquaint myself with so many people that are still here. And this occasion reminds me of that. I know our final recipient is getting a 35-year recognition. Obviously, she and I go back to that period, so it's just been really great to reconnect and to get back part of the Chesapeake College family, which has been so much of my life and hopefully will remain a large part of your life. I want to thank you on behalf of our administrative team for just your incredible dedication and service. Saw some wonderful notes that Dave had sent out to his staff, and we can take it for granted sometimes, the commitment that we have from our staff. We don't. And these occasions, so remind us of all the support we have. And, you know, the real strength, it seems to me, is obviously the commitment to Chesapeake, but it's really the commitment to this five-county community. Because, you know, the vast majority of the people who work here are actively engaged in the community in one way or another. Maybe they grew up in the community, their parents are here. We're just well connected, and that's as it should be. So we're really celebrating our mature community as much as the college. So thank you so much for that. I want to introduce Brenda Armistead, who's the chairman of our Board of Trustees. She would like to pass along some remarks from the board. So Brenda.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm really happy to be here and to be able to share in this celebration. I frequently comment that Chesapeake College is a gem in our Midshore community, and it's really all of you that make this college such an important and valuable asset to our communities. And I hope all of you know what a positive impact your work has, not only on each individual student, but also on all aspects of the lives of those of us who live in the Midshore. It is appreciated far and wide. You all just have really no way to know that. But I hear it all the time, and I'm really proud to be a part of Chesapeake College. As we approached this past year of transition, the board was really anxious to maintain the college's momentum and to prepare for the future without putting undue stress on the organization, because it was our feeling that there was enough stress here with all that was going on, a lot of change underway. So we were really thrilled when Dr. Bounds agreed to step back in as interim president, and we've been even more delighted with the job he's done this year. Stuart certainly wasn't looking for work, and I'm pretty sure he was pretty comfortable in his retirement. But when Don Bradley, who was chair of the board last year, and I approached Stuart last spring, he readily indicated that he'd be willing to help in any way he could. I doubt he was expecting us to make the big ask, but we did, and he didn't hesitate but agreed to come back on board and help us this year. And I think his commitment to the college is reflected in everybody that I meet or work with here. I mean, you all are such a devoted group, and Stuart certainly has shown that this year. His experience, his knowledge, his leadership, and this year, probably most importantly, his very hard work have been of tremendous value to the board, and I hope all of you all agree. He doesn't get a commendation or gift today. I mean, this is a one-year deal, but I hope you'll join me in giving a round of applause for all that he's done for us this year. He probably wouldn't have let me up here if he'd known I was going to say say any of that. And he would be the first one to say that it was the efforts of everyone on campus that made this a successful year of the college. And he is absolutely right. No one person, whether they be, doesn't matter the job, no one person can make this wonderful organization contribute in the way it does. Transitions and change are challenging, and there have been plenty of them this year, but thanks to the commitment of all of you, it has really been another very positive year for Chesapeake. You know, we members of the board, and there are 10 of us, really have limited opportunities to interact with most of the faculty, staff, and even most of the administrative team. But we know that it is you all that are at the heart of the college. And on behalf of the whole board, I want to thank each one of you for your service to the college, and I congratulate all of you that are receiving service awards today. Thank you.
Okay, so let's get this party started, right? I too would like to just express my appreciation to each and every one of you. I feel truly blessed to work with such a great group of people who are working for the common goal, good and mission of the college, and that is our students' success. So thank you very much, and let's get on with the program. We're going to be recognizing the individuals who are receiving their 5-year service award. And so when I call your name, if you will come up to receive your award and then move to the right, we're going to do a group photo, okay? So, receiving the 5-year service award is Ismana Carney. Sorry. It's a long walk from the back, isn't it? Next, we have Van Crisillo. Van. And next we have Shannon Fleischman. And next, my boss, Tim Jones. He's in the expensive seats. He didn't have to walk too long. Next, we have Nikki Miller. And now we have Christine Schutte. And last but not least, Ellen Troutman Wallace. Okay, celebrating 10 years of service. Joanne Adams, who couldn't be here today, so accepting the award, no, just kidding. Jamie Bourne. Why? I don't know why it does that. Mary Branning. I do not see Mary. Oh, she's out sick. Okay. All right. We'll make sure she gets that tomorrow. And then, hey, me, myself, and I, yes. And now we have Michael Rucker. Mike is not here? Okay, okay. How about, and I know Laura Shahan is not here. She's holding down the fort in the office. I know William Thomas is here. Yay. And I believe I saw Mary Lou Towie. Yay. And last but not least, Willie Webb. Come on, Willie. There you go. Okay, celebrating 15 years of service. Someone near and dear to my heart, Karen Smith. And we also have Latalia Stewart, our Zumba queen. Okay, celebrating 20 years of service, we have two people who could not be with us today. I guess Guido is in Cambridge maybe, and Jerry Lalone, I believe, is on using all that annual leave he has to use before the end of the month, right? And then we have Carol Wilson Robbins. Is Carol in the room? Okay. Celebrating 25 years of service, Jim Davidson. Jim, who walks faster than any man on this campus, I'm telling you. Have you seen him walk? This guy can move.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
And next we have from the WIB, Joanne Gannon. Wow, you're a celebrity. And Donna, why is it doing that? Donna Pletzer. Celebrating 30 years of service, Brian Richardson. Bridget. Hold on. Oh, yes, I'm sorry, but she's not here. Okay. I didn't really skip. See, I knew that all along, guys. Come on. Brian Richardson. Brian Keith. Brian's the official name. Is that right? Yes. Okay. 35 years of service. Wow, I am impressed. Linda Blythe, come on down. And Linda is going to have a little something to say for us, so we're going to have her come up.
So luckily, Susan said, well, when we call your name, we want you to say a couple of things. And I said, good, because I intended to anyway. When I came here 35 years ago, you know, and it just occurred to me, that's half of my life. I've spent half of my life working for Chesapeake College. You know, am I dumb or what? I just couldn't think about doing anything else. I couldn't come up with anything else in my life. But I've got to tell you, the first time that I came here, Dr. Schlager was the president. Dr. Schlager had been contacted by the radiologist that I worked for, Dr. Gil Gregg in Easton, and Dr. Gregg asked Dr. Schlager to start a program here. And so the next person that I met was Jack Sistriano. And I worked with Jack Sistriano and Jane Groves and Bill Seth to put the program together. And then I've got to tell you, I've worked with so many wonderful people over the years, some of whom they're gone. But this I can say about everyone. Everyone in his own way has encouraged me. First of all, they've listened to me, which is nice. But then they encouraged me, they gave me support, and gave me something that I had never seen before in my life. And that was the ability to do something that I didn't think I could do. I was convinced when I got out of high school that I was not, quote unquote, college material. And since I've been here, I've earned an associate degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and been able to stand here today and tell you that the 222nd graduate of the program is going to walk across the stage today. That's great, isn't it? It's not my accomplishment, it's theirs. But I'm so proud that we managed to keep a program here, and that every single person who has been an employee here and a faculty member here, and who is in this room today, you all contributed to that success. I don't stand up here on my own 2 feet, not by any stretch of the imagination. And Dr. Bounds had a lot to do with the fact that I continued my education, and that we kept a program here, I've got to say, over the years. But I'll have more to say next year because that's when I'm planning on retiring. But here's, that's what I said this year, right? So there's a little plaque that I've had up in my office for a number of years, and I've tried to think of this often, and that is, excellence can be attained if you care more than others think is wise, risk more than others think is safe, dream more than others think is practical, and expect more than others think is possible. And that expectation, that starts with you first. That starts with you, and it comes out in everything you do and every interaction you have with every individual. And I thank you all. I thank you all for those.
Thank you, Linda. I think I figured out what's wrong with this program. I wasn't advancing it. It's on continuous loop, just so you know that. So there we are. It's going to move ahead, but that's okay. Because now we would like to recognize Bob Becker, who is retiring this year after 24 years of service. And I'd like to invite Dr. Bounds and Bob up to the podium.
What many of you may not know is that Bob was a 1975 graduate of Chesapeake College. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yes. So, and I'd forgotten that. Very relatively early in our history, and somewhat later, 1994, Jack Catula was president here, and we had a center in Cambridge, I think, before 1994, but they were typically leased or rented spaces that we had, and I think we had been in Sandy Hill Elementary for a while, just various places, and But through Jack's leadership, he really put together a mechanism for us to get the state to really pay for the financing cost of purchasing the old Leggett building in Cambridge, and then converting it into what we now have as the Cambridge Center. And the challenge that we faced then was to find someone who we could bring into the Cambridge Center who met at least two critical requirements that we saw then. One was we needed to have someone who had credibility, connections, roots really in the Dorchester County and Cambridge community. And secondly, we wanted someone who had good, strong educational experience. And because this was our first permanent center, and compared to what we had before that, I know today we take for granted what we have, but then we were living hand to mouth in various facilities. And we really wanted to get off to a good start. So we did a search, and Bob was our new director of our new Cambridge Center. We were lucky to find him. He had been teaching in Dorchester County Public Schools and for a number of years, and we had to lure him out of that job and bring him into the campus. But he also had really great roots in the community, a lot of great connections for us, which we needed. And I'm looking back on us, the fact that he was a Chesapeake College grad, I mean, we really couldn't have found a better combination, I think, of experiences and background than we did with Bob. He's just been a terrific director down at the center, a good friend to me over the years, a great advocate for the center, and I would say we will need to continue that advocacy. A lot of potential down in Cambridge. Bob always had a vision for Cambridge and kept it in front of us, even with those of us here in Y Mills sometimes lost sight of it on occasion. But he was always been a great advocate. So I really want to thank Bob for his 24 years of really dedicated service, great director at the center, and I hope you will have occasion to say a few remarks. I'm sure you will.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jones. I appreciate that. Wow. 24 years. This is only about the second or third time I've been to this awards because of being in Cambridge and not being able to get up. And so when I was told that this was going to happen and would I come up, I said, I'll come up on two conditions. One, they don't make a big deal, and two, I don't have to say anything. So, Linda, if you'd come back up and help me out with a few words, I'm kind of, I don't know, I appreciate the kind words. And one of the first people I met coming back as director was Dr. Bounds, and I came up for an interview, and when the committee said, would you take the job? And I said yes, and they said, well, you have to meet Dr. Bounds first. So no, it was a good meeting. It was a good meeting, and you were basically my first boss, supervisor, and been a great boss, mentor, and friend over the years, and I appreciate everything. And I look around and see a lot of people that have been here as long, if not longer than me. It's been a great ride. I've had a great time. It's just wonderful and great place to work, and appreciate the heck out of everything it's done for me and all the people that have helped me all through the years and the students and so forth. Time up. You were looking at your watch. Okay. But anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good luck to everybody. Thank you.
I forgot to mention Stacy, if you want to stand up just real quick. That's Bob's wife who's joined him today. So.
Couldn't have made it these years without her. I'm glad she came up because nobody else would sit with me at the table. Oh my. Wow.
Yeah, that's gold.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
The clicker went away? Or you got it? Okay. All right. So next, we're going to recognize our next retiree, and that is Rhonda Robinson with 26 years of service. And Dan McDermott, I'd like to invite you up to come and say a few words. Rhonda?
I was gonna. This wasn't. There's no jokes in this. This is all straight stuff. Rhonda Robinson, 26 years of service. She started with us back when we were the Upper Shore Private Industry Council, probably in the upper part of the Caroline Center in the bunker, offices with no windows. College closed one day. We didn't know it because before we had email, but we all started out up there. She left us, Rhonda left us, and went to work for the college in what was called the Student Services Division. I don't really know much about that period of time because it was a secret and she went to the college. But Rhonda came back to us when we were the Upper Shore Workforce Investment Board, as we are now. And we're really interested in numbers. We're federally funded, federal grants. Everything we do has to be, we have to have numbers. And I'm guessing, based on some estimates and some numbers we looked at, that in Rhonda's time with us, more than 9,300 people have enrolled in training or found a job because of her efforts. And that's the day-to-day work, but I want to highlight two specific projects that Rhonda was instrumental in ensuring the success. The first project I want to talk about is the closing of the Black & Decker plant in Easton. If you weren't familiar with when that closed, 1,276 people lost their job in that closing. Rhonda was the training coordinator for those 1,276 people. She was responsible for funneling the workers into job search, classroom training, and paid internships. That project overwhelmed our office. We were in no way prepared to deal with that, and really in no way prepared to deal with that amount of work. But with what Rhonda did, we were able to be quite successful, and I want to point out her work in that project because it was really, I can't think of a better word than a cattle call. Everything was on steroids. When we worked at other closings, we would have 10 people show up for a seminar. This one, we would have 100. So everything was just jumped to a level that we weren't used to. That overwhelmed us, it overwhelmed our office, it overwhelmed our resources, but it didn't overwhelm Rhonda. Another project that I want to highlight was a project called Accelerating Connections to Employment. This project involved 9 workforce areas in 5 states. In that project, we served 28 people, which is pretty small. But that gave Rhonda an opportunity to work really closely with the people. And again, tremendously successful. We owe the success of that project and our end of it to what Rhonda did. So whether it was big or whether it was small, Rhonda stepped up, and a lot of people have a job, kept a job, and earned a paycheck because of what Rhonda did. So I'm sure in the 26 years that Rhonda's worked with us and worked for the college, I haven't said thank you enough. And on behalf of me, the WIB board itself, the WIB staff, and I'm going to round up 10,000 people you helped get a job, keep a job, and earn a paycheck. I want to thank you.
First of all, I want to thank Dan, Melissa. We were the original trio. We were the Three Musketeers. And when I first came to this college back in 1991, My first job here was part-time. I gave out things called floppy disks. Do you know what they are? Because I know half of you weren't even born when I came here. So that was my first job. I did that part-time. And then when I decided to go to JTPA, I had no clue what it was, but the letter sounded fine. So I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. What people don't understand about us Wibbers is that we get a kick out of helping people. We feel like if we present something and they accept it and they trust us enough to help them succeed, then we've done our jobs. And we do it together as a team. We work as a family. People say, well, you know, where's your husband? Where's your son? They're working because I want my money, okay? So they're not allowed to be here today. But the Wibbers are here, and they're my family. And the next thing I want to do, I want to leave all of you with a thought. You represent a community, in fact, 5 communities. You're not here just, you know, to come in, do a little work, and go home. You're here to represent 5 communities. You need to go out to the communities. You need to meet the people in the communities. You need to find out what they need. You need to find out how Chesapeake College can help them and make that your priority. And if you do that, you'll be here for another 50 years. Thank you.
Okay. Next, we would like to acknowledge and award the individuals who participated in our career development program this year. I want to thank Kate Maxwell. Kate had this wonderful idea about 4 or 5 years ago to bring a mentorship program to the college. And she really headed this program up. This has been her baby. And she's just done a tremendous job. So I'm going to invite her up here now to talk about the program and to recognize the individuals that participated this year.
Hello. So as Susan said, the Career Development Program is designed for employees. If you are interested in another area of the college and you want to learn more about it, we'll set you up with a mentor so that you can have that experience. And, and this is the opportunity for a formal mentoring program. I know sometimes you kind of do, some people do some informal mentoring, but this is a more formalized program. I want to thank this year's mentors, Karen Smith and Mary Lou Towie. And congratulations to this year's participants, Heather Krause, and Kate Maxwell, me. I finally went through my own program. Oh, yes. Here you go. Okay. Thank you. And I just wanted to let you know, if you're interested in learning more, there's more information in the faculty staff manual, and also the next program is going to start in August, so be on the lookout for an email from me. Thank you.
Okay, so we've come to the conclusion of our program, and I would just like to thank a few people for making today possible. Many thanks to Mike and the Sodexo staff for the wonderful service and the delicious food. Great job. A special thanks to the event setup team and the custodial staff for helping in setup and coordinating the event. I also want to give a shout out to Michelle Hall for thinking of that genius idea of having 2 buffet lines. Way to go. And I too would also like to thank William Thomas for the beautiful music. That was really an added benefit this year. So thank you very much. Please make sure the service award recipients receive one of the geraniums, and then after that, you all have at it. You can fight over them. Thank you so much. Yes, here, let me give, oh, wait a minute. This is Rhonda's.